From cold cases to serial killers, missing persons, and more.
100% he did this.
I'd go off into fantasy world.
How much more lucky can you get that you're not on death row?
You want to know what we know?
My name is Jay. This is Guilty of Crime.
Hello, everybody. What's going on today on a Friday? And we're early. How y'all doing? All right. Today we're talking about Maddie, Madeline Soto DNA report analysis, swabs, and items that they confiscated. I'm really surprised that we hadn't talked about that yet. They're making you subscribe every day at Crime to Remember. That's really weird. Wow, I don't know why they're doing that. If you guys can hit that like button, you know what? They've been really weird also with the statistics in the background. So I don't know what's going on, but well, we'll just keep on doing what we need to do. Hit that like button. Good afternoon, Christio and everybody else. Adam, what's going on? Yeah, let's go. Yeah, you guys, what's up? Frank Reeve, Melly. Oh, Shelly's here from California. Shelly Longacre. Okay, so today is a sensitive topic, and I want to get through that first before I go over anything else. There's, Court TV came out. I had told you yesterday or the day before they were driving to St. Cloud, St. Cloud, Florida, Minnesota. There is a Minnesota. What's up, E-Fly-Z? I told you Court TV is driving to St. Cloud. They did their reporting from St. Cloud, and I think it's really cool because the reporting that they did shows the memorial being gone. They go into the bushes. They show you the area, and they go a little bit over the report. They show you the hotel where Stephan Sterns moved Maddie's body. If anybody saw that, let me know. I'll start getting into the hard part. I'm going to do the DNA analysis. Some of the things I'm not going to say the words. Now, Mr. Strategic broke it down as well, but I'm not going to do that because, and actually it just logged me out. So I might have to sign back in. Let me sign into my powers that be Acrobat. And then I'll get back in. So Strategic did a breakdown, but he did amazing, but it's really harsh. And I can't do it the harsh way. So we're going to do it the nice way. There are a lot of words that, like, let's say things got swabbed. We're going to call it we could say like a penile swab, right? But there's certain things that I just, can't say. And you're going to see all kinds of items that they took that I didn't even realize that we never got into. And the reason we never got into it was because one day when I was going through all the documents, I got sidetracked by the lovely advocates and the lovely ladies that knew people were watching, that knew maybe the family was watching or somebody would be watching me break down the episode, and they didn't want that to be shown. And I was sidetracked by the documents and the reports. So that being said, I have them now. They're all in one document, and we're going to go through them. All right. All right, everybody here. Hello, everybody. Hello. What's up, Sweetie Brookahire? Why broken heart there? What's that for? What happened? There's a swap. Yeah, there's a swab for everything. And I'm going to bring that up. There is a swab for everything. But I also have to complete this case. It's not very nice to hear some of the things that or read some of the things I'm reading, etc. And what's up, Marilyn Gray? Rochelle Norman. Love your channel, Jay. You tell it like it is. And thank you. You know why I like being here on a Friday? My words. A Friday at 2:00 is because there's people that I don't get to see all the time. I love all of my crime crew, normal crime crew, but there's more crime crewers that don't get to see me live. Yeah, it is a crime to remember. It's heartbreaking, and that's what we're gonna do right now. And I'm gonna be as sensitive as I possibly can with it. I even wore a soft color shirt for y'all today. So if you can remember to hit the like, there's some new members. Maybe you updated. Mitzi, that was from yesterday. Diane prays for justice. And we pray to get through this document. Any and all donations are helpful. Everybody was very kind yesterday. So I thank everybody for the cash apps and everything else. And I'll go back and heart them for you guys if I didn't already. TGIF, it has been a week. You are right. All right, let's see how I'm going to do this document style. I don't want you guys to necessarily have to see the words. I don't want you to have to see all the words. So let me make myself a little bit bigger and the document smaller. All right, update layout. All right, you guys can see me a little more, and you'll see me kind of reading, and you see my background. But I don't want anyone to have nightmares tonight like I did when I was reading some of this stuff. What's up, Maurice from Australia? All right, I'm getting the document, folks. I promise. I'm getting them, and I had to log back into Adobe. So we're gonna be sensitive today, and be sensitive with me today too. That means no trolls, hopefully. All right, so there's the big document. There's, I think, 20 pages. Hello, everybody. Trigger warning, but I'm going to try to be as soft as I can as possible and try to use the least amount of bad, like terrible words. So, Martine, Lujan, J Mods, what's up? The rest people, I cannot get over the people who believe Jen is innocent. I read in the comments of any show, right? I want to get to that today. I hope to be able to play some of that because I want. There's also a theory. There was a new show that came out and a theory from one of the experts. Thank you, Monica, for the $2 super chat. And the expert said exactly what I said. The possibility of that letter being true would mean that Jen would have actually did the deed of taking Maddie's life and then having Stephan Sterns cover up and dump Maddie's body. Okay. So, and then as far as the car, we still haven't ruled out the car. Thank you for making it on time. Viewer discretion. We haven't made it to the car yet. The second car, we don't know if it's Stephan Sterns or Jen Soto that took that drive. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much, Christino. Thank you guys. Yeah, sensitive documents. Let's go through this. I appreciate you all. You guys keep me going. All right. So let's just go through this as much as sensitive and as much as I can. FDLE, it's a law enforcement, and it's all the documents for the DNA analysis and it's a case tracking. It's the all the things that they collected that they could. Okay, so they've got the items in the document. They've got fingerprints, exemplar, major case prints, of course. They took latent lift prints. Police did a really good job on this, by the way. Did a really good job. They took 7 latent lift cards from the Lincoln vehicle. They did the buckle swab on Stephan Sterns, SME buckle. They did the swab, SME, and they did the penile Stephan Sterns swab. They did the SME blood standard DNA card 4. And since they blurted the name out, it looks really short, folks. I'm not sure what that is, but it says analysis requested as bio. So it's a possibility that it's Jen. So I'm going to look in chat for you guys to say if that's what you think. You guys can kind of see it. They need biological DNA from somebody. And I know they were swabbing Stephan Sterns, and they had to swab Maddie, and they had to swab Jen Soto so that they can get test back to see what was what. Yeah, swab. I enjoy your channel. Great, accurate. It's a must. This is beyond horrific. It is. But I need to get this information out there. So they got the swabs, DNA card. They blocked out the name, but I see the analysis requested, and it's for bio DNAs. All right. So they've got fingernail scrap clippings, left fingernail clippings of all DNA, bio DNA. So I cannot see the name. Okay. This is Maddie. This is the death investigation. We've got Stephan Sterns and victim Madeline Soto, folks. Okay, so this is hard, but it's part of what we do. Fingernail scrappings from the left and right fingernails both of Maddie. I don't know if that's come back yet. I don't know what we haven't found any of that. Now check this out. Here's another thing. 2 neck swabs again. 2 neck swabs and then a right hand swab and a left hand swab from Maddie. I want to tell you all that this was a bloody crime scene, folks. I didn't realize that it was a bloody. I can't make it bigger price, but if you want the document, if some people actually want the document to look it up, I can let you. You can email me. I don't want to make it bigger because there's things that I don't want to show. There's a lot of things in here that can't really be shown or should not be shown on television or on this channel. There are a lot of bad words in here. So I just want, hey Melly, thank you for being here. Welcoming everybody. I appreciate you. So if you want, you can email me for the document if for purposes of wanting to know about it. I don't know. Cheech, I don't know. It was a bloody crime scene, so I don't know. That's what makes me wonder. We never saw the report. We never saw the COD, the cause of death. I didn't say she wasn't. We never saw it. All right. And my actual email, somebody will drop that in there for you. All right. Or I'll just put it down here while I finish reading. I don't know. You guys will have to speculate amongst yourselves. We know that Court TV has been wrong before. I've been wrong before. We haven't got the cause of death, folks. We don't know. We don't know. So my email's down there if you want it. I don't want to put this on blast. I have the documents, but I don't want you to have to see this. The next swab is let's say, of your backside is what I'm going to call it. Okay, so all these swabs here, 11, 12, 13, and 14 are all backsides of your swab. Backside, your private area of Maddie, your upper chest area, and an oral swab. All of these are Maddie's bio DNA swabs that they took from her. And just above that were the same swabs, but they were from Stephan Sterns, and they were prints from his member, which I already told you what that was. Left fingernail, right fingernail, neck swabs, right hand and left hand swabs. Now, listening to Mr. Strategic break this down, I know, and we're going to get down into it. There was a bit of a bloody crime scene, which makes me wonder about what the cause of the manner of death actually was, because I don't know. I'm not a crime scene investigator, but I'm not really sure how. Yeah, he covered this. He's been covering this. I brought him on my channel first to do this, and then he did this. But I can't. The family watches my channel, and I can't talk about it in that way that he can. And he's been in the CSA unit for years. So so they're doing swabs. This is more brutal than I thought it was, even though I know it was brutal. I watched this already on Strategic. I haven't got there yet, Cassie. It does talk about that. I have 20 pages of this. I also watched this on Strategic channel, and he's in that unit. So, all right. And unless you are Florida law, or unless you're a law department person, police department person, and you understand how to read these reports, then you would know. Just trust me, there was a fairly bloody crime scene, and we're still going. We're only on page number 3, folks. All right, so just trust what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If you want the document, you can email me, but also hit that like button. So we got Stephan Sterns again. We got Madeline Soto in the investigation of her death. They've got finger palm prints, major case prints of Stephan Sterns are taking. This is an SA homicide. Osceola County has an open case and under orange, and they give the code. All of the swabs and fingernail clippings from Madeline Soto are to be compared to Stephan Sterns' buckle and swab of the P area. The 7 latent cars were collected from Mr. Sterns and used to transport Madeline's body to the dump site. And I'm reading you word for word what's going on here. Welcome, everybody. Again, it's a sensitive subject, one that I avoided for a while just because the family, and I'm trying to be as gentle as I can. So I'm glad you guys are talking in chat. Yes, SS is a chomo, but the best thing about learning information is it doesn't have to be so harsh when you learn it. I can only watch it once from Strategic and other people because it's just too harsh. It says too many words that make me imagine things that I don't want to. So Jen Brick, sorry you're late. That's okay. I'm here reading. I'm barely in, and we got a lot going on, and it does too. It absolutely makes me feel that they did. Thank you. I'm gonna leave that down there. That you're right. They absolutely did, and we're not there yet. Around Maddie's private parts, they found blood, folks. It was a fairly bloody crime scene. Just take my word for it. I mean, I've given you good content. Just understand when I say that it's for a reason. All right, so Florida Department, we've got Ron DeSantis, governor here, which, by the way, is working on changing laws right now behind the scenes because of Maddie and other children. I hope he helps and does a good job. So we're looking at Madeline Soto with Stephan Sterns again all over the paperwork. We're looking at the investigation of her death. The report references evidence submitted to Florida Department of Law Enforcement by Jamie Jung, who's obviously doing the swabs and the DNA and admitting into evidence. Now, listen, it gets a little bit more, there's some things I'm not going to say. This report contains conclusions and opinions and interpretations made by the author. So they're giving us their opinion of item number 3, the buckle swab represents from Stephan Sterns. So the items that they tested, and we're going to go to the items right now. I'm saying item 3, item 4, item 5, item 6, item 7, item 8, item 8.1, etc. I'm going to get to those items, but the items they tested matched the buckle swab from Stephan Sterns. Number 4 matched the penile swab from Stephan Sterns. Number 5, the DNA card represented from Maddie matched the left fingernail clipping and right fingernail clipping matched the items for Maddie. A neck swab from Maddie matched number 8, which we're going to get to, the left and right neck swabs. So there was neck swabs all the way around, and it matched Maddie, and there were swabs and there is blood in areas that I didn't realize. Okay. So right hand, left hand, bottom area, both bottom areas of Maddie were represented in the items and the swabs. Hair, 12.1. And then again, chest and oral swabs were presented from Maddie and matched the items. Now I have the items for you. Okay, yeah, this is a hard topic, folks. I hope everybody's in it. I hope it's not too harsh. I know it's really harsh, but I'm glad that we are here together and that I'm not saying all of those words so out loud because it's hard. I wish we'd need the COD, but I don't know if that's a COD now. When I look at this documentation, I'm not sure that is actually the COD. Thank you so much, Jen Brick, for this. This is a hard topic to cover, but I figure it should be hard and we can do it together, and not only do it together, but in a respectful way for layman people like myself. And a lot of people are talking about that if either him or Jen were passing her around. Now let's get to the items. I told you what was happening. Let's go to the items now. And thank you all for everything, all the super stickers, super chats, memberships, everything that you do to make my channel exist. Thank you. All right, now this is the interesting part, are the items. So item number 3, that's the buckle swab that represented from Stephan Sterns. Number 5 was the complete DNA profile that were obtained from 3 and 5. So that was Maddie. And those items 3 and item 5 were swabs from areas of the neck or the fingernails. But item number 4 is particularly Stephan Sterns' penile swab. And as Stephan Sterns is expected to be a donor in item number 4, no DNA results foreign to Stephan Sterns were obtained. So when you're asking the questions about other people, not that day. Not that day. Only that day we know that Stephan Sterns, listen here, folks. We know that day. Yes, I can't imagine either. And you're welcome, Finn Boutique. Listen, that day, Stephan Sterns did assault because that day or that night, because his swabs were all over. His stuff was all over Maddie, and there was blood and spots, and there were swabs and spots. Thank you, Vicky Guerra. Vicky Guerra. Thank you for the $10 super chat. Kirsten Miller, thank you for the $1.99. Everything helps. I appreciate so much. So now you're hearing what is going on here, and I just hello. I love you, Shadow. I love the Shadow. All right. Man, this is rough. I wasn't looking forward to this, but we're here. All right, so now we're getting to the fingernail clipping number 6 from Madeline Soto. Expected to be item number 6. No DNA results foreign to Madeline Soto were obtained from item number 6. I don't know why I guess they wanted to keep Maddie's name. So they checked a color changing test to see if there was a presence of blood. Item number 6 failed to give chemical indications of the presence of blood. So that means her left fingernail, didn't have blood. Number 5 is expected to be the item from Stephan Sterns. No DNA results were foreign to Maddie were obtained from number 6. So this is all Stephan Sterns and Maddie, and it tells you what's present, what's not. The right fingernail clippings represented for Maddie using a color test. Item 7 gave, guess what, folks? Her right hand, not her left, had presence of blood on it. So Maddie fought back. Can we stop for a second and say a prayer for that? And I'll stop and say hello to y'all because this is a hard one. Hello, everybody. What's up? Mitzi Blankenship. I wasn't hungry anyways. Yeah. So Maddie's left hand, which most of the time, if we're not left-handed, we don't use that. And your right hand, her right hand fingernails had the presence of Stephan Sterns' blood on them. So she fought back. We don't know what happened to her. We don't know. We don't have the COD, folks, but we do want to say a prayer. So many lives at the same time. Are they? I don't know. All right. Poor baby, so unfair. Yeah, I'm disgusted too, and that's why I had to be not as harsh on the words because it's already hard as it is. Oh, Mitzi, I'm gonna claim Jay as my best friend. Thank you. You're the first one to say that. All right. Time will tell. You're right, sweetie Brookahire. Let's keep going. It's a hard subject. So Maddie fought back. There was a presence of blood on her right fingernail clippings, but not her left. There was no foreign DNA anywhere. Left neck, right neck from Maddie using a color changing test gave chemical indications for the presence of blood. All right. Are you all hearing that, people? I'm going to finish this and then I'll get back on and tell you, with Mr. Strategic's help and me reading this, it was a fairly bloody crime scene. Okay? It wasn't just, it wasn't not. It was fairly bloody. I don't know what that means. Okay, so now we're getting to the DNA of her neck, and there was a presence of blood on items 8, 1, and 2, left side, right side of her neck. Using a color changing test, item 9 gave indications of the presence of blood. Her whole right hand, folks. So her entire right hand, her entire neck has blood. Is number 5 is expected to be a donor from Maddie were obtained due to limited nature of the results. The data is not interpretable. So on item number 9, they were looking for DNA, possible Stephan Sterns. They didn't find it. They didn't find what they were looking for. It wasn't present. Item number 10 gave chemical indications of the presence of blood. Once again, on the left hand swabs, not the fingernails, but the hand. The DNA results obtained from item 10 demonstrated the presence of a mixture of blood. From Madeline is where expected to be the donor number. Item number 10 was from the mixture. DNA foreign of Maddie were obtained from item 10. Due to the limited nature of the results, the DNA is not interpretable. So that was her blood and Stephan Sterns' blood, more than likely. Again, I've already watched this on another channel, and listening to this. This is interesting. And yes, what an evil SOB, Avis. Thank you, Monica, for becoming a new member. They did as well. Yeah, I'm glad that you saw this before I'm interpreting. We're still going down the pages. It's a hard one to get through. It's a hard one to get through because you can see that I am passionate about this, and it makes me upset and it makes me angry. And so I'm like yelling I'm trying not to yell, but I'm also not happy about this, but it has to be done. That's not even the worst part of crime to remember. It's coming out of another area that is such a personal area that unbelievable. When I heard that, I was like, no way. Diane McLemmon says, my heart breaks for poor Maddie and all she had to go through. This is so horrifying. Thank you so much for staying on this case. Much love to you and yours from Scotland. Well, you're welcome, Diane. Thank you for the $10 pounds. I appreciate that. Hot Mess, thank you for gifting a membership and being a member. You guys are amazing. Foreign DNA. Well, you guys can answer that in chat. I mean, somebody else's outside of Stephan Sterns and Madeline Soto would mean foreign DNA. There were none. I see you struggle with this content. Yeah, it's not easy. I'm struggling in a way that I don't want to read it. Yeah, no stranger. Thank you for the hugs. I need that while I'm getting through this documentation. But I want to make sure you guys understand what happened here fully. And DNA, yeah, thank you guys for answering in chat. All right, I'm going to keep going so I can get through this. It's not easy. Oh, this is the worst one. All right, how do I call this? So item number 11, all I can say is it's from the backside, folks. And I'm only going to say it once, and then I'm not. But then I'm going to read it. Now, item 11, when I told you earlier, there are different swabs. That's the item 11 is the rectal swab. Using a color changing test, folks, chemical indications for the presence of blood. I'm not going to say that again, what I just said, but I'm going to tell you that the presence of blood was on the backside of Maddie. If you understand what I'm saying, there was also possible hairs observed in the blood of that swab from the behind area. Okay, hairs don't belong there. The items 11, but they were not removed or examined in that area. Okay, so we're on the backside of the swabs, and you know what the backside means. They also expected there to be Madeline Soto is also expected to be a donor in the blood, so expected to be her blood and Stephan Sterns. They say no other DNA results foreign to Maddie were obtained from item number 11. Did you hear what I just said? I know you guys heard what I said. All right, so now we're getting to the hard part. The hard part is the other part that I'm not going to say, the girl parts. The girl parts now. They're doing the swabs on the girl parts. And it does get worse because it's a bloody crime scene. There's a lot of blood, folks. There's a lot of blood that is testing positive for areas, and a lot of it's Maddie's. A little bit of it's Stephan Sterns, but a lot of it's Maddie's. Foreign DNA means that any other people were. It doesn't mean it found. No, it means they didn't find any other DNA on her. Foreign DNA does not mean that any other people there. Exactly more. No other people were part of it. That's all it means. It means part of it that day for that particular thing. They didn't find that. Yes. Thank you. I'll put it up. We're doing the V part right now. Okay. That's all I'm going to put it. The V part. Okay. They collected from the V part using a color changing test. They found indications of blood on the V part. Also expected, Madeline Soto was expected to be a donor. No other DNA results foreign to Maddie were obtained from the V swabs. Okay. Now, again, we're still on the V swabs, and there was hair collected. Of course, we know that there's possible hair on the V swabs, but there is hair to be observed. It was examined using microscopy. However, the hair was not suitable for STR DNA and was returned to its original package. There was also another possible hair that was observed, but was not removed or examined. And that was possibly somebody else's. When I say somebody else's, more than likely, everything in this document is Stephan Sterns and Madeline Soto. Now we're getting to the chest swabs. Okay, so now what you told me earlier, somebody was in here chatting, what you were telling me earlier, that is where we're talking about the presence of blood. I think NYC, Brooklyn. And if I missed anything, I'll thank you guys in a bit. Thank you all for everything. It's hard to do this right now. So I'm getting through it. Okay. So the chest swabs, again, using a color changing test, that area actually failed to give chemical indications of blood, but we're not done yet. The DNA results obtained from item 13 demonstrated the presence of a mixture of Madeline Soto. Were expected to be item 13 and observed to be a mixture. DNA results foreign to Maddie were obtained from 13 due to limited nature of results. DNA or the data is not interpretable. So there was no blood on the chest area, but there were DNA. If you want to imagine what DNA was on the chest area, it could be saliva, it could be fluids. All right. We're done with that. Oral swabs represented from Madeline Soto, using a color changing test in her oral swabs. There was indications for the presence of blood. Are you guys hearing me this now? Can you hear me now what I'm saying? This was a bloody crime scene, folks. It wasn't bloody like you would see on like a TV show. And thank you, Tanya Delaware. I love that you're here. Yeah, this was, I didn't believe it at first when I first listened to it until I actually read it. It was a bloody crime scene. It wasn't bloody in the way that you would see, that you would think like some New York homicide out on the street, but it was a bloody crime scene. The DNA from that potato, right? It was a nasty crime scene. It was not a simple, easy, Maddie didn't put up a fight. Maddie put up a fight here, folks, in my opinion. Maddie put up a fight, okay? That's what I believe, and that's what I'm going to believe. Yeah, it is sad. I know. All right, let's keep getting through this document. Thank you all. Hit the like button if you want to share it so people know what happened in not such a harsh way. Do that because I don't want it to be so harsh. I want you to know what happened, but I don't want it to be that harsh. Okay. Now, here are the remarks from the oral swab. By the way, there was indication of blood in the mouth. The DNA profiles obtained from 3 and 5 have been entered into CODIS. We're going to have to talk about the PCR and STR DNA. I can't tell you what that is now, but it was performed on all the samples we talked about, utilizing the global filer PCR amplification. I'm just reading you what the remarks are. I'm not going to be able to tell you what that PCR. There's a whole series, 20-30 minutes on that. Just know it's DNA analysis. All right. So they did all their testing they needed to do, and the terms sperm cell fraction and epithelial cell fraction refer to two portions of the extract generated during a differential extraction procedure. The presence of DNA in the sperm cell fraction does not confirm the presence of seminal material or the type of cells from which DNA originated. The submitted evidence in the DNA extracts are available for retrieval or return the earliest possibility. So this is all their information. Question in regards to this report that gives you all the information. Okay, so I said what I said. Now we have the evidence that I never got to get to. We kind of talked about it on my show. You might have seen it at other shows. Thank you. That means skin. Thank you. Thank you, NYC. Yeah, like the stream. We might not like the topic, but we like knowing the complete information. Thank you, Patty Ward, for the super sticker. Thank you. All contributions this month will go towards my birthday. My mom's coming today too. That's why I'm doing this early, because I get to see my mom and it's been months. All right. And then all contributions aren't going to go towards my birthday. I'm just kidding, but I also have lots of bills. Yeah, hit that like button. There's 282, but there's 534 in chat. All right, let's keep going. Let's talk about the items that they collected, folks, because I know that you're interested in knowing about the items they collected. Wolfpack had to run, huh? I don't blame you. Yes, please hit that like if you're watching. This is not an easy subject, but right now we're talking about the items. It's not as bad. Okay, you guys want to know what they collected from Guilty of Crime? Jay Scott, guilty of crime. You're hearing it from me. All right, here are the items that they collected. You could have heard it from someone else. You're hearing it from me. We have a purple Apple iPhone with a clear case. We have purple. Wow, it's a purple Apple iPhone. This is a tongue twister with a clear case with cherry design. So that's the first cell phone they have. This is the information that they have in evidence. These are the items they have in evidence. These are the pieces of things that they have in evidence. We're going to get through it. One Apple iPhone with a clear case and a cherry design. One black Samsung phone. One female short with white stripe. One pink female undergarment. So that's panties or a bra or something like that. It's a pink female undergarment. Set of swabs from passenger door compartment. They have a rag front passenger floor. A pocket knife from top compartment of center console. They have a white rope in the trunk. They have a set of swabs from the center console. They have 5 blue latex gloves from the bottom compartment of the center console. There's a black jacket from the rear passenger floor. 1 blue latex glove from rear passenger floor. 1 set of swabs from steering wheel and shifter. 1 blue puffer jacket from trunk. Napkins from rear passenger floor. Nail file kit from top compartment of center console. Red hoodie from trunk. Lincoln emblem from glove box. They took the whole emblem. And napkins from the passenger seat. This is all initial intake, and they have it at the Osceola Forensics Unit. All right. I'm going to finish getting through it, and then I can answer questions if I need to. There's a lot more items here. There are a lot more items. make sure you're all still with me. Yeah, oh my God, the rope. Say basically everything in the car, right? Well, listen, they had a pocket knife and it doesn't say anything about blood or anything like that. And yeah, they speculated some being strangulated with a cord, but we don't know, and that could cause a presence of blood. Thank you for being a member for 2 months. We do love you, Maddie, very much. You are our angel now, and may you rest in peace. If we didn't have to cover this case, we wouldn't. And as we say a prayer to Maddie, we just hit 555. I do believe in angel numbers. I hope you all believe in angel numbers, because we literally just hit 555 when Maddie's name came up and when we said a prayer for her. Yeah, now you're getting mad, right? Now you're getting mad. I've been mad. Mad isn't the right word. I'm passionate and I want to see this case through. I want justice for Maddie. Yeah. 555, 555. Angela, Clue season, JoJo. Any wounds in the head tend to bleed more than the most. Right. And there were a lot of presence of blood in the neck area and in her right hand specifically. I don't know, Patty. I don't know. That's a good question. I'm going to get through the items. You guys can talk amongst yourself in chat. Thank you, Honey Bun, for gifting one Guilty of Crime membership. I hope somebody gets it that needs it and wants it. All right, let's keep going with the items. I wonder how the trunk was covered with. Yeah, I know. If I have time, I'm going to play that where they show him going into the parking garage. Not him, but they don't show him. They do a reenactment and they talk about her being in the trunk. Maddie was in the trunk for about 4 hours. So we don't know. We just, wow, you're right. I don't know. Justice for Maddie. Right. And I'll put that up while I finish reading this. It was a pretty big document, but we're just going to truck through it. All right. So they got black netting from the trunk, set of swabs from rear driver door compartment, another Lincoln emblem from the trunk, Hornady. Listen, here it is. Everybody was asking about the gun. Here it is. Or the round. This is not the gun yet. It's a live round. It's a 9mm Hornady. That's the brand. 9mm Luger with a P live round from the glove box. When you find a live round on a gun, and I'm a gun person, I have guns and licenses and registrations, and I shoot when I practice, and I target shoot, and I have bullets. And when you have bullets laying around, there's a gun somewhere. So his preference, or what his gun was, 9mm live round in a glove box. Don't know why that's there. White towel from the trunk, black trash bag from the trunk, tire from the trunk, towel from the rear passenger floor, tan blanket, white stains from across the back seat, mitt gloves, bottom compartment, center console, trace vacuum filters from Lincoln, set of swabs, rear passenger door compartment, set of swabs, front driver, blue latex gloves from the front passenger, 6 of them, napkins, front seat, left croc slipper, size 5 to 7. 2 blue gloves, 1 white shirt, 7 latent card prints, 1 blue latex between front passenger seat, center console, napkins between front driver seat, center console, Apple iPhone with blue case. There's 3 phones that we have now, folks. There are 3 phones that we have in evidence now. Thank you all for being here and doing this with me. I wouldn't want to do it by myself. Thank you for becoming and being a member for 2 months. Justice for Maddie. Arrest Jen. Absolutely. Absolutely. How could you hear about this and not want that to happen? I can't understand. Yeah, he threw it away in the garbage. There was a tire in the garbage, like a tread. That's what I was trying to figure out, why there was another tire when he threw one away. I don't know. I'm glad you guys are talking about it, though. Yeah, Sweetie Brook, that's why this seems, and that's why they called it premeditated. Do you see all the stuff? Mitzi Blankenship said, I went to the gun range Tuesday. I'm getting my carry license. I want to be fully trained. Well, Mitzi, you are my best friend. There you go. Thank you for being here with me. This is not an easy one. And probably why I haven't done it yet. All right. No, her body wasn't found clean at all. And I don't know about that other stuff. You guys can answer that in chat. Yeah, he really did this on purpose. He showed up. And also, think about how many times, look at what he did to her and all the things he had in his car, folks. And Jen not knowing any of this. Jen was just oblivious the whole time. Now, there's one thing to talk about. Yeah. Hold on. I'll breathe in and out. Thank you. There's one thing to talk about her mom not knowing for 5 years, Jennifer Soto not knowing for 5 years that her daughter was being brutally assaulted. But there's another thing to see all of this stuff in evidence and have 1,700 images and have all of these items and have the blood and everything else. And Stephan Sterns in and out. And while Jennifer Soto was covering for him in all of those news interviews and body cam, folks, just think about that as I read this stuff. And imagine everything that happened in 7 years, a literal nightmare, eye for an eye. Just imagine mom knew nothing. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. We've been talking about it, and we're still going to talk about it after this. All right. All right. So we read all the napkin. We read more napkins, another iPhone with the blue case. That's 3 phones now. Black hat from Stephan Sterns, that stupid hat he always wore. A black watch from Stephan Sterns. He always had that watch too. He always wearing that damn iWatch thing. Blue shirt, Stephan Sterns. You remember he was wearing a blue shirt that day? Oh, he even had blue underwear to match his blue shirt. Brown belt, Stephan Sterns. Brown sandals, Stephan Sterns. You remember the body cam, what he was wearing in the body cam? Probably had the same damn clothes on because he never took a shower, folks. That guy didn't shower ever. Poor Maddie. Rest in peace. Buckle swabs from Stephan Sterns. Khaki pants, Stephan Sterns. Set of penile swabs, Stephan Sterns. Set of swabs, left hand, Stephan Sterns, and right hand. Zip up jacket, Stephan Sterns. Orange bottle of, you know what we were talking about in bedroom number 4, the slow low lotion. Okay, here we go. Here's the pistol, folks. We found it. It's a 9mm Sig Sauer with the magazine clip in it. Bedroom number 4. So they found the pistol in bedroom number 4. Purple comforter they took in the living room. White flat sheet downstairs in the bedroom. White fitted sheets, gray shirt. They took a lot of evidence. Now, while I'm doing this, keep in mind that while they did this, Stephan Sterns and Jennifer Soto were at the hotel together with Stephan Sterns' dad. So, if you think Stephan Sterns' dad didn't hear anything that they were talking about, any plans that they had, anything, I have a feeling that he did. I'm gonna just make sure anyone. All right. All this that was going on, and yeah, you're right, JC. I don't even want to see that, but yeah, UTI. He will definitely get his in jail. Absolutely. Poor Maddie and this creepy guy. Can someone explain to me why the bedrooms were numbered? Yeah, we still don't know. Guilty of crime. That's right. And if you are guilty of crime, you're going to end up on here. All of this stuff was being collected from the house while they were at the hotel, and Jen was hugging Stephan Sterns and coddling him and rubbing his shoulder, and oh, poor guy, Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head were doing that while the police were collecting this at their house. So now we know, we've seen he had a Sig Sauer 9mm. Why would that guy even have a gun? Interesting. Rounds from the bag. So there were more live rounds there. After they got the comforter, they got his white purple fitted sheet, black pair of underwear, HP. They took his desktop, the whole tower, pair of black boots, gray comforter, magazine with 9mm live rounds of from bag on the table, bedroom 4. Now listen, all of this was in bedroom 4. Jen Soto didn't know that there was a gun in bedroom 4. She didn't know there was a 9mm with a clip in it and live rounds with some slow low lotion and all these things that were there. The underwears, the blankets with stains on them, white fitted sheets, bedroom number 4, white flat sheet, bedroom 4, comforter. They took it from bedroom 3. 3 prescription medications belonging to, and they blocked out Madeline Soto's name. So she did have some prescription medication in the downstairs bedroom, 1 white mattress protector bedroom in the living room area, a flat cat sheet from the closet. I don't know what a flat cat sheet is, but downstairs bedroom, pair of black shorts, bedroom, living area 1. I wonder if those were the black shorts that Jen was talking about. Maddie was wearing that day. 1 red shirt, bedroom number 4. Wow, there's a lot of stuff here. Composition notebook, bedroom. They took a lot of things from the house. I would say everything, but not everything. Pair of boxers, probably Stephan Sterns, laying around in the living room. They took the tripod, the bedroom area. That was the room that she sent them to. And remember, there was a half bedroom that they made a half bedroom to go send Maddie to with the slow low pillowcases. They took bedroom 4, white brown blanket, bedroom living room area. That was where the tripod was. So he was filming also more. There's a holster for the gun in bedroom 4. All right, you guys, you still don't see Maddie's mom thought it was okay for a 9mm to be laying around in a bedroom, a 9mm with rounds and a tripod. And what was she doing? A pink strawberry snuggie in the living room area, white flat sheet, white purple sheet, fitted cat sheet, charcoal gray blanket downstairs, pink dinosaur blanket, pair of blue underwear, bedroom of the living room area, rubber portion of tire, purple dog seatbelt leash, black dog seatbelt leash, gray graphic tank top. It says infinite, 1 pillowcase. Man, there's okay. Now we're going to start getting into a little more of the swabs and the hairs and the things like that. But there's a lot in this document today. Thank you all for being here. Yeah, a tripod. All right, everybody is still in it. Thank you so much for everybody that's here today. There's now 633 people in here, so please hit that like button. This is not an easy one. We're 52 minutes in and we're still going. This is a big document. A tripod in her daughter's room. Yeah, right out in the open. There's also there was a 9mm with a clip and bullets in there too. Do you really think that's okay to just have a gun laying around with your daughter and bullets and lube and all that? Yeah, she did. I truly believe she did. I truly do. 50 Shades of Grossness. Right. All right, let's keep going. All right, so they still took more stuff from trunk mat, 1 trace filter from the driver's seat floor, trace filter from rear seat, 1 trace filter from trunk, trace filter from front, passenger seat. Now they're back to the car. Hair from under the seat. 2 swabs from the passenger armrest, handles and buttons. They swapped the whole car. Driver armrest, handle buttons, 1 trace filter, 2 swabs from the steering wheel shifter, 2 swabs stain on the interior front right door jamb. That could have been blood. We don't know. It could have been any kind of stain, actually. 2 swabs from the rear and driver arm, rest handles, 2 swabs from the rear passenger arm, pocket knife, gray iPhone. There's another iPhone, and it says right here, T.O.T. Morris. So there's 4 iPhones so far. This is not the same one. This is a gray iPhone 13 Pro. This is the 4th phone that we have in here, folks. Black wallet with chain that spells Natalia. containing U.S. currency, miscellaneous cards with names Simone, M. Prado, Cassiano, and Ken Moselle. Weird. Surveillance footage. I wish we had some of that surveillance footage. And then we have the DVR with Maddie's math book number 1 and number 2 with the trash bag, the white crock, the 2 swabs from the black straps of the backpack, swabs from the wearer of the DNA from the insole of the white crock, right foot, 2 swabs, zipper tags, a backpack, 2 swabs from the handle, 1 tire, 1 backpack containing miscellaneous items, OCPS. So the OCPS is the laptop and charger from the backpack that Jen Soto and Stephan Sterns were saying, oh, we don't, I don't think you could track it. She didn't have it. Whatever. Latent lift cards from Nissan Sentra. Remember, there was a second car. The Nissan Sentra is not the car that was driving. So they took prints from the Nissan. Yellow cloth material torn in 3 places. Police did a good job, folks. Police did a good job. Make sure you're still with me. And then we're getting to the evidence, the holster, the everything that they did. And what this says is that police did a good job in documenting this information so that when Stephan Sterns goes on trial, they're going to nail him. And hopefully he gets the death penalty. I'd love to see him be in a cell for 23 hours a day, even if he never gets executed, and just be miserable for the rest of his natural life. Rowena, and you, as you should, you say, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. You bet I carry. Due to the creeps like him. Absolutely. This is absolutely outrageous. Yeah, and I love that you guys are here helping back me up. Jen absolutely shut that laptop thing down when it was brought up. She absolutely shut down oh no, she's wearing black shorts. Well, guess what? They found black shorts, but she wasn't wearing them. And I am saying it. I'm very passionate about this case, and it makes me upset. Emma Joy, I carry ever since my home was robbed and 2 dudes beat the heck out of me. You're right, Emma Joy. I can't carry here in California, but I started with my guns and learning to shoot when I got carjacked by 5 men that pulled a gun out on my wife and myself, kicked us out of the car in the middle of the street of Oakland. That's when I started making sure that I know how to shoot and that I have guns and I do it in a protective way, and I have it in my safe like you're supposed to do. You don't leave guns laying around. Can Potato keep Stephan Sterns off death row? Well, if Potato did the actual taking of Maddie's life, then yes. If they actually find out that she did it and that he covered it up, he might be able to get the death penalty for the essaying. But if it's the other way around, Ninja, I'm going to leave that up as I finish this document, because I can't say enough. There's literally no way Jen didn't know. It's just unbelievable, the carelessness. So bedroom number 4, there was a Sig Sauer 9mm pistol with the magazine. Bedroom number 4. Location collected. They didn't. I don't know why that must be the address. They did a good job. Please put in evidence with a description. 9mm live rounds from pistol. Bedroom 4. Magazine 9mm from a bag on the table. Holster. And I guess in Florida you probably can just carry. In California, it's almost impossible to get a carry license here. Flat sheet, bedroom 4, flat sheet, bedroom 4, pillowcase, more evidence. They just documented it. There's nothing really new here except the evidence and property report. Orange bottle, that's the slow low cream that we're talking about. Orange bottle just sitting in bedroom number 4, folks. And then, of course, that's highlighted because, well, who just lets there be a bottle of lube sitting in the room? And what is up, S. Lopez? Hey, And hey to everybody. Thank you, 0518 Harding. Love your picture. Love your hair in that picture. Thank you for loving the show. Florida doesn't require paperwork for gun it. Wow. In California, it requires an extensive background check. It requires a license. It requires you having a safe. It requires you having a lock carry on the actual handle. So when you walk out, it has to be locked. It requires a lot. What's crack-a-lackin'? Malibu Surfer, happy Friday. We got through the hard stuff. Here we are. We're just about through the evidence. We know the police did a good job. Thank you. That Maya, you said it, took the words out of my mouth. Ellie's done an amazing job. A lot of departments that need to learn from them. Yes, Emma Joy, I have a very clean record. Clean. And New York, I imagine New York too. New York is like California, overpopulated, and too many people would just be shooting people. I'm sure nothing is compared to Holland. Probably not. I know nothing about Holland. Cali is hard to conceal. Hard to conceal and carry. It's so unfortunate. That's not even almost possible. And Maya, you took the words out of my mouth once again. All right. The cops did a good job. We know it. I still wanted to have time to show you something. So let's get through this because these are still just the evidence reports. They highlighted here for me, black pair of underwear in the living room, black pair of shorts. I believe those black pair of shorts were the shorts that Jen Soto was referring to that she thinks Maddie was wearing. Pair of boxers, probably from that nasty monster Stephan, highlighted all the other things. Tripod, and they highlighted that for a reason, folks, right? So these are all the things. I don't want to have it's basically just the address where it's located at the sheriff's office. They signed off on everything. Nothing new in here. It's just evidence, and then more evidence, which is great because that means we still have time to do what I wanted to show you and go what I wanted to go. I wanted to talk about this flat tire and show you the actual area. So I'm going to get to do that now because I have time. Yay. It is a happy Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. This is what I wanted to show you. Here, let me move myself aside. I'll scoot over a little bit so I can still be in view, but also let's do this together. Yay. This is what I wanted to show you. All right. If you didn't see this last night, you're going to watch it here with me for a little while. And this is the memorial. Now they're going to go out to the site and they're going to show, and they're talking about what happened. Stephan moving. I'm visual. So Stephan moving Maddie's body to the trunk, etc., etc. I'm not playing the whole clip. You can go watch it. It came out last night. Happy Friday. We made it through that document. That document was killing me and weighing heavy on me. It was weighing heavy on my chest knowing that I had to go through that. All right.
And they end up going to the scene where the body is recovered. Take a look here. The witness stated he saw the suspect vehicle, a silver sedan, pull off of Hickory Tree Road, and the subject with a tire iron in his hand, wearing a black shirt and a green hat on backwards, standing near the vehicle. The witness made eye contact with the subject. He stated he was not exactly sure at the time, but it was around 13:20 hours in the afternoon. It's an eyewitness seeing something and saying something because the media is reporting.
This is the Miracle Man, folks, that reported this. And yes, Melly, yay for Vinny. That man is an angel. Maddie's our angel. This is the guy that reported Stephan Sterns, and you're going to see this all the way through on how they found her. Visual. I'm a visual person. This came out last night, so if you didn't see it, you're seeing it with me first. Hashtag arrest Jen Soto now.
Reporting something. It's all about a missing child. But in this case, it was a murdered child. Court TV producer Cody Thomas joining us live tonight from the spot where Madeline Soto's body was discovered in St. Cloud, Florida. Cody, great to see you tonight. So we're returning to the scene. I want you to walk us around there so we really understand it in light of all the new information that we've received.
Of course, Vinny, let me give you a little lay of the land here. As you can see, in either direction on this road, it's pretty rural, it's pretty flat, and as you can see, there's not too many cars coming, so obviously not too busy. Lots of woods, there's even some cows back here behind me over there. But what's important about where we're standing right now,
What's also important is that if you keep going down a few miles, that's where Jennifer Soto used to live. So when Vinny asks what's out there and he says not much, well, it's on the way to her old house. And so that's what I wanted to put my input for you folks that didn't see us do the drive. What's up? Thank you for becoming a new subscriber. You've been watching. I am the only French one. All right, let's go. I'll have a limited time today.
You mentioned that eyewitness seeing Stephan Sterns carrying that tire iron. He was actually right here in this area, changing the tire on that silver Lincoln MKZ. Now, how do we know that that eyewitness was correct about seeing Stephan Sterns? Well, according to those court documents that we now have, he was caught on camera back at the dumpster at Venetian Bay, conveniently throwing away a spare tire in that dumpster. So we're going to walk across this road to show you a little bit more, but we're going to look both ways to stay safe. Coming across over here, and this is actually the remainder or the continuation of a memorial for Maddie. As you can see, they've left some lockets here. When we were here just a few months ago, back in March, when the story was still very fresh, there was a little more luster to it, but obviously this community still cared. And actually, as I'm reading the sign right here, it says the memorial display is being relocated, new location to be announced. So obviously, members.
So we got there first. We actually did get there first because there's a whole episode about the memorial getting taken down, and I got images before it got taken down. So if you haven't seen that, folks, and you're new to my channel, go back. It's like a 30-minute episode and watch the memorial as it's there and as it's gone. Now, Court TV caught wind of it coming down, and so they went to St. Cloud, Florida to go and do this episode. All right. So yeah, the locks were still there, and we put some locks up from Guilty of Crime, from Jay Scott, and from the crime crew, thanks to Kate Takes. So our locks are still there.
Of this community still care about this story, but what's most important, and also probably the most sad part about this, is that off here to my left, in that bamboo thicket among those trees, is actually where her body was eventually found by police. So as you can see, it's very rural, very wide open out here, easily accessible by anyone.
Now, Cody, another important part of this was how he got there, right? Is that barbed wire fence that is right behind you now?
It actually is barbed wire fence. And when I was here back in March, there were some ladies out here that were really tapped into the story. And they told me that this is all private property, all private farmland owned by another resident out here. And there's a gate right over here that we can see. And when I was out here last time as well, a few months ago, that gate is actually open. And what those ladies told me back then was that that resident that owns this farmland actually has, really big regrets. He feels very sorry that those gates were open that day. Obviously, they're closed now, but that could have been how he got access to get behind this fence back there in that bamboo thicket where her body was found.
So he's on the other side of the street, changing a tire. We're
glad that gate was open because we might not have found Maddie that fast had the gate not been open, and he did such a sloppy job really quick. A lot of circumstances here that made it so the police were able to find her quickly. Thank God. Maddie, rest in peace. And I hope that they relocate that memorial soon so that people can still continue to grieve, because they are, but without somewhere to go. And since she was cremated, there's no grave for anybody to go. There's no grave site or anything like that. Her mom.
At that time that Madeline is in the trunk of the car. To me, this is a moment where there's a lot of potential vulnerability for Stephan Sterns if what investigators are telling us is true, that he's on the side of the road, he's got a dead child in his trunk, and he's got a flat tire. When you look at this area, I mean, the place where she is put.
Yeah, we can take another look right here down. Look at how wide open it is. You can see anything. I mean, here's some cars coming right now. They can see us standing right here. There's nothing hiding, and it's not too far from the road either, just a few feet, maybe a couple yards. So very wide open, especially in the afternoon where there's plenty of sunshine. Obviously, not too many trees around here. Any cars coming by could have seen him doing what he was doing with Madeline's body that day.
So I guess the question is, which comes first, the disposal of the body or the flat tire? And I don't know if we know the answer to that, but if that gate was open, he would have been able to pull his car a little bit closer so he doesn't have to literally carry a body across the street.
That is true. But again, like you said, we don't really have the answer right now. He could have done that because as you see right now, there's no cars coming in either direction. So if there was a big window, maybe he could have picked her up really quick. Maybe he could have came up, if that gate was open, walked through this fence, tossed her and ran right back and started changing that tire, realized he had the...
You guys in chat know the caller tipped it in about the flat tire. I do believe that it was the police that went out there to go check on the tip that were looking for Maddie. But Melly, I know you've been covering this case and with Vinny in his chat, so I don't know. I think it was the police that had the report and went out there. I would hope it wasn't the landowner, only because they'll be traumatized forever. They're still going to be traumatized forever. Rachel Townsend, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Thanks for working hard to get us all the info. It cannot be easy. Love from Australia. It's not easy, especially when it's at this level. It was the owner of the house. Okay. And then they called it in. That's interesting because there's so many levels of that. Then if they called it in, then all of that happened all at the same time. Someone called in the flat tire, that they came out. Wow. Okay. Thank you for clarifying that. I did not know that.
Flat tire, and that's when that eyewitness came by and saw him.
Cody, right now I'm just having a little difficulty hearing you, but I'm going to ask you another question because I think you can hear me. I just can't hear you. So if it repeats what you said, my apologies. So the car is on this side, the gate there. As you look at where the question is, does it have to be buried or could a body just be driving back and forth?
Behind me, some of this brush is a little more thick than it was a few months ago when I was here, but say the farmer that own this land be seen from the road, if maybe you might not recognize that it's a body, but you'd recognize it's something out of place. But what we're seeing right now, it could definitely be hidden behind any of this. So to answer the question, does it have to be buried to be in view?
And if anybody actually saw that, one of the officers took a picture and leaked it out there. It was right in view. Now, by the way, Don, you just have to hit the join button. If one of my mods can drop a link, Jojo, I see you dropping links. There's a join button on my channel. Just hit that join button to become a member. That would be fantastic. Someone will post a membership link for you. Thanks for asking. I want everybody that's here today to be a member, of course.
Once again, Cody, I'll do one more follow-up here in what I'm asking you. So in the time that you've been there, and I'm trying to ascertain how busy this place actually is, are there cars going back and forth? How far are you from closest home?
Well, Benny, I do hope you can hear me right now. Hold the microphone just a little bit closer. There's one car coming right now. As we've been standing here for this period of time, there's maybe only been 8 to 10 cars that have come by. Not a very busy road of nowhere. No strip malls. This span of road is probably 6 miles long. We're probably 4 miles down the road right now. No strip malls, no security cameras, no lights even. So when it was dark, or when it gets dark, it'll be pretty much pitch black out here. But not much of anything happening going up and down this road.
And I think the biggest question that may never be answered is why that spot? Was there any connection, or was it just happenstance that you get a flat tire?
And he's just making this a rhetorical question. This is a good question. It's rhetorical, but he also talks about, you're also going to hear what he talks about. If he got the flat tire first, was it a chicken or egg situation? Did he dump her and then get a flat tire? But when he says why that area, I've told you my theory why that area plenty of times. And once we find out who the second driver of that car is, I think we're going to get a better answer, I hope, of why that area. If you keep going down the road, that's where Jennifer Soto used to live, and she knows that area. Stephan Sterns doesn't know that area. He's not from that area, and he wouldn't know. And you're going to hear this because you're going to see how far away it was from the house, from Jen Soto's house, her current one.
Oh, I look over here, here's this body, because where you are is miles from where they were living.
Listen.
That's exactly right. About 20 miles, maybe 40 minutes, definitely out of the way from those Venetian Bay Village complexes. And again, like you said, this is steps for anybody to come by, such as that eyewitness that saw him changing that tire.
It's really interesting to see. Cody, I know you're going to stay with us the whole hour. Cody Thomas live down in Central Florida. When we come back, we're going to take a look at the place where Sterns.
All right, now we're going to talk about what you're asking. I do not believe he drove through there. I believe he drove that way and he got a flat tire and then dropped her body. He was too lazy, in my opinion, to walk her across the street. But they're going to talk about this right now.
It's really a timeline. A key moment, though, that we've just learned about recently is at 9:40 a.m. while in the parking garage of the Holiday Inn Vacations building, a male wearing a dark hat, red shirt and tan pants, exited the vehicle and opened the trunk. The male then walked to the front passenger side of the vehicle, opened the door, and proceeded to carry what appeared to be a limp body to the trunk of the vehicle. So this is the moment when Madeline goes from being in the front seat and visible to now in the trunk. Let's go back out to Court TV producer Cody Thomas, still with us. And Cody, you took a trip today to that Holiday Inn Vacations parking garage. What did you find out?
Thank you, Martin Rodriguez.
Well, Vinny, interestingly enough, as we pulled up, it was very populated. There was a lot of people that worked there. There was nothing private or hidden about it at all. And there was actually a security guard surveying the parking lot and that parking deck. Take a look. So this is that Holiday Inn Vacation Club's headquarters, where police say Stephan Sterns went the morning that Madeline Soto was found missing. Now, court documents say he pulled into this parking lot and went inside this parking garage right here. We see the parking garage. It's only about 2 levels high. They say he went to the very top.
I actually said that on my channel. I just don't know why Jen did it with their sick mind. That is why it's close to Disney World. And so they rent the rooms out for people that want to be close to Disney World, etc. So that's why the numbers were on the door. That's what typically happens. But typically you don't have the situation that we have with Madeline and Jen and all the other stuff. Ugh. Thank you, and thank you. So I don't want to not say thank you to everybody, and happy Friday. Let's keep going. It's always nice to have visuals here, folks.
So let's see what that would have looked like for him that morning. Turning into the parking garage right now, obviously plenty of cars here. A lot of people work here, not very discreet at all. So this is what the top of this parking deck would have looked like. And as I'm coming up here, one of the first things I noticed right here, security cameras. One on one side of the pole, on the other side as well. I'm looking around. I don't see any more. Oh, I see one over there in that corner too, far left corner. And police say in those court documents that at least one of these cameras caught a man looking similar to Stephan Sterns that morning, parking his car, that silver Lincoln MKZ that we've heard about in this case, getting out, opening the trunk, going to the passenger side seat door, opening that door, and carrying what they worded as a limp body to the trunk of that car around 9:42 a.m. and then leaving just a few minutes after. And Vinny, just to note, that parking garage was only about 10 miles or a 15-minute drive from the Venetian Bay Villages where Sterns and Madeline Soto and her mother lived. So not too far away at all.
Couple things strike me, right? So it's Florida, it's hot. You're going to park downstairs, so the upstairs could be relatively empty. But you've got the cameras. I also saw the windows to the offices. If this is 9:40 in the morning, people are at work. I mean, people could have been looking through the window. Again, very risky type of conduct here, allegedly by Stephan Sterns. So he's at that parking garage, 9:42, makes the transfer from the front seat into the trunk. Where does he go next?
So this is where it gets kind of tricky because there becomes a time gap between then and when his car is caught on camera. Again, he says around 11 a.m. that he went to a vape shop. We don't know if that's true or not, but we do know that somewhere around 12:50 that he was caught on the cameras at the back gate at Venetian Bay Villages. And we went back to that gate today to remind you of what that would have looked like. Take a look. So police know Stephan Sterns left the parking garage of that Holiday Inn Vacation Club's headquarters around 9:42 a.m. Then there's a gap where they don't know where he went in that silver Lincoln MKZ. But according to court documents, they do know somewhere around 12:49, 12:50 p.m. he was caught on camera at the back gate of the Venetian Bay Villages where he lived with Madeline Soto and her mother. He was caught on camera leaving his back gate, eventually heading on that route, going to Hickory Tree Road, where he eventually dumped Madeline Soto's body. And again, Vinny, you know, that's where police say he ended up, after that, took that route out here, drove that extra 35, 40 minutes to end up right here, where we're standing, and right here behind me, where he tossed her body.
And now we're going to talk about this portion of where he put her body. It's always good to have visuals. We see all the cameras, and guess what? Eventually, we're going to get that footage that we see in evidence. I know Court TV is already all over it. The docket's on it, Plunder's on it. We're waiting for evidence as it comes. We're not going to see graphic evidence. Obviously, we don't even want to see graphic, but we want to see the evidence of, I want to know who's driving that second car. Marilyn Gonzalez says, love your channel and dedication. Thank you. I am dedicated to Maddie, and I will see this case through and all the cases that I started and other ones, of course. Thank you for the super sticker, Naomi. I hope you're having a wonderful Friday. Yeah, he didn't. Then he pulled across the street to change his tire. That's what I think he did. I think he got a flat trying to dump, and I hate saying that, to put Maddie's body there, and then he pulled across the street. Thank you, sweetie, always.
Body in that bamboo thicket.
And that timing seems to work when you start putting it together to leave from the subdivision, from the complex, back out to St. Cloud where you are. So how long do we think Madeline was in that trunk?
So, Vinny, this is where it gets even more complicated. So, of course, we know that police say he placed Madeline's body in the passenger seat around 7:35 a.m. And we also know, according to those documents, that he brought that limp body from the passenger seat at the top of that parking garage to the trunk around 9:40. Now, when the next intersection camera picks him up turning on this road, on Hickory Tree Road, that is around 1:20. And Vinny, I'm not the best at math, but from 9:40 to 1:20, that's almost 4 hours. So she was in there for a very, very long time.
Once again, in the Florida heat, it gets warm down there. I live down there. It gets very warm. I know you live in Florida as well. All right, Cody's going to stay with us. We have more to ask, but let's bring in our think tank.
Did I really? Lauren? Jay, did you hear you and your channel had a shout out last night by Vinny? Well, that's awesome. I'm very pleased. I've been covering this in depth with, and I'll say love to all of the ladies that have been helping me through this, have been giving me the knowledge and insight of things that I couldn't know otherwise, because I'm all the way in California. So awesome. I'm glad you guys are with me. I'm glad you can hear it first. I believe it was Jennifer Soto, and Davey had an excellent point when Jen was trying to deflect and explain about the second car and not being able to have permission because of her employer. And now we know that car was used, and she never once said that she let Stephan Sterns use it ever. That was never even brought up. Deflect, deflect, deflect. One question, Jay, who sings that song? You say it's your birthday. It's my birthday. Are you talking about 50 Cent? Go shorty, it's your birthday. That one? All right. Yes, he did when you were in the live chat. Woo! I didn't know that. Thank you, Vinny.
Right now, joining us tonight, criminal defense attorney Eklund Mercy. Also joining us, criminal defense attorney and the attorney who represented out in Arizona, Kirk Nurmi is with us, and El Presidente of the West Coast Trial Lawyers, former federal prosecutor Nima Rahmani. Great to see everyone tonight.
All right, there's some good insight here. I believe they're going to talk about Jen right now, and we're talking about Stephan Sterns, but Jen always comes up. And you guys know Kirk Nurmi, he represented Jodi Arias, who made him literally quit practicing law. That's how terrible she was. There's some information on Jodi Arias I'd love to cover at some point. She's in jail, prison, wreaking havoc and selling paintings for $8,500 a painting, folks. All right, let's get back to this.
This case, everything is at stake. You've got the sex abuse charges, but then you have the separate charges for the murder. It's a death penalty case. Eklund Mercy, looking at the conduct or alleged conduct of this man, from my perspective, the thing that really strikes me is how risky a lot of this is. You're going on the top of a parking deck right when everyone's getting to work, and you're taking a body out of the car and throwing it in the trunk. You are pulling off to the side of the road, got a flat tire, you're popping the trunk, and then you're taking a body to the other side of the road and dumping it in the bushes. What are your thoughts?
Well, under my mentor, Swabs Items, she always says that child molestation cases were worse than murder cases. And here we have
say that.
both. The issue is, I've never seen them together. So especially you have somebody who's made a habit of it, and suddenly we have a death. So it's a surprising event, and his actions seem erratic. So the problem is with cases like these, because they're kind of morally repugnant, it's really hard to really investigate, because it's hard to find people who will either want to investigate it, want to prosecute it, or even defend it, because there's so much footage. And the problem is the footage, unfortunately, although repugnant, holds keys to what actually happened to Ms. Soto. And it sucks, because you need somebody to look at every single video to make sure she wasn't sold.
Yeah, listen, I love Vinny, and that she's talking about the videos, making sure she's talking about Madeline Soto not being sold, et cetera, et cetera. I love Vinny's bluntness. The only thing is I'm blunt if you were in my face or hanging out with me, I'm that blunt, but I can't say this on my show. I can't talk on my show the way I would talk to you in person because I have to be respectful of the families and the victims and et cetera, et cetera. So as much as I'd love to be that blunt, I am that passionate, but I can't do that. I've already gotten reamed for it once as I was learning, and I won't do that again. I don't like to apologize twice for the same thing.
That other players weren't a part of it because the actions were so erratic.
Let me ask you, Kirk, what are your thoughts about that spot where Madeline's body was left? Do you think it's a flat tire? It's just oh my goodness, I have a flat tire, and it's just okay, looks across the street and sees a place to do it? Or do you think the body is left there and something else happened for some reason this tire ends up flat?
Vinny, I do. And sadly, I think this is a situation where he probably did get the flat, went to the trunk to gut it, and realized he needed to dispose of the body and felt like this was as good a place as any to dispose of the body. So, I don't think any of Mr. Sterns' behavior is anything other than risky. I mean, he recorded some of this vile behavior. He did some of his acts on the Cape, as you said, on video, and this is just consistent with that. I think it's just happenstance. He's going to cast himself as a victim throughout this trial, and so I think this is all just consistent with his morbid mentality.
Nima, that parking garage, there's cameras everywhere capturing a lot of what he's doing. Does that strike you as someone who has planned this or someone who is in a panic and is just reacting to whatever happened here? I mean, I'm trying to understand it because there are literally like cameras at the dumpster when he's throwing away the backpack. There's cameras.
Well, I just want to tell you, I literally got myself in trouble for talking the way that they do and saying the words that they do. And it wasn't about YouTube. It was about this particular case because you guys know that I have probably one of the most in-depth content on this case. I have lots and lots of inside information, and the way I worded it got me in trouble because the family was watching and they didn't want to hear that. So I have to be very cautious of the way I talk about this case. Thank you, Petty Mason Deb, for gifting the 5 memberships. So I am respectful, and I do try to use words that aren't so harsh, but I respect everybody else that does. And if you come hang out with me, I'll give you all the harshness in person that you want, as long as you don't record me. All right. Love you all. Let's go.
When he's carrying the body, there's cameras at the entrance and exit of the complex, and it seems like he's propping her up in the front seat, and she's either dead or passed out.
Vinny, this isn't the smartest criminal defendant we've covered on court TV, and someone who sexually abuses a young girl, either with the help of her mother or at a minimum in the presence of her mother, is not someone that really cares about getting caught, in my opinion. I mean, you have all this video evidence. Obviously, we've talked about the cell phone evidence in Sterns' phone, and whether it's license plate readers, whether it's cameras. I mean, we have now eyewitness testimony. There's going to be a lot of evidence in this case, and this is someone that, frankly, was not careful, was risky, probably thought he would never get caught, and you could tell from those brazen lies to law enforcement when they originally reported for Madeline Soto missing.
Eklund, the allegations are he's doing this for, I think, at least 5 years. This abuse that they found recorded. Like, I'm sure there is potentially abuse that's not recorded, but this is what's like documented and they were able to retrieve. But the murder happens right after her birthday party, 13 years old. She's now officially a teenager. I don't think that's a coincidence. Do you?
I don't know. The thing is, why now?
Put that on
so
there.
Unless he's going away for a long time for sexual battery, it's no doubt about it. But
he doesn't.
The problem is we have a report.
Right.
We have. Is he on the dark web? Did he? Is her birthday significant for something else? There's so much because the evidence is so. It's so outweighed. Like it's 1,500 pictures. For who? For what? For why?
I believe it's 1,700 pictures. It's 1,500 page document. I'm just going to correct her because I know there's 1,500 documents, 1,700 images. They put the same thing there, but it's easy to get that confused. I think that she started to say no. We see that she fought back with the bloody crime scene with her hand, her right hand particularly. She was probably right-handed, fighting back, clawing at him, folks. Maddie fought back. We love you for fighting back. Always fight back. Tell your children to fight back. Please, never. And you too, all of you folks, if you ever get attacked, I ever get attacked, fight back. Even if you don't win and you lose a battle, you're going to tell a story. So please, I know that's a little bit morbid, but fight back. Always. Don't take it laying down, so to speak.
There, and then suddenly, so he likes pictures, and then suddenly you're just going to stop it with the something happened that
exactly.
In order to get that body on him, we need to know what happened, or at least the prosecutor needs to have a story for that. Because to be so consistent, unfortunately, he was so consistent with his with the other crimes, like consistent with the other crimes, and then suddenly, just out of the blue, we have this. Although it's her birthday, but even then, why not the 12th? The 11th. So the prosecution has to make sure that they answer that. You don't want to just fumble it because we have all of that other evidence. We want to make sure that, it's cinched up tight.
Absolutely. All right. Think tank staying with us. Cody Thomas still with us. Strange fact that has just been revealed. That night, after she's reported missing, another one of the vehicles from that house returns to the scene where Cody is tonight. More details when we come back. Route. Let me show you. February 26th, at 10:04, Sterns is seen on body cam showing police where he says he dropped Madeline off. But then you go later that night into the early morning hours, 3:16, Jen Soto's white Nissan is pinged on a license plate reader. The report stated it took the same path as Sterns the previous day. 3:35, the vehicle enters the dump site where Madeline's body was found. 4:09, the license plate is pinged on the way back home. And then at 4:30, the white Nissan, again, that is registered to Jennifer Soto, arrives back at the complex. Let's go.
All right, this is a really good timeline. Pay attention. I'm going to not pause it in it because it's really good. And I cannot wait till they identify the driver, folks. Hit the like button, please. There's 717 people in chat. I give you the most accurate information as fast as I can get it. If you like that, hit the like button. Hassan, thank you. You're amazing. Thank you. Happy birthday month and many more. All right, I'm not going to pause it. Let's watch this, and I'm going to hope that driver gets identified soon.
Back out to Cody Thomas, our report. It's getting dark there, which is appropriate right now because we're talking about not just one.
I'll go back a little so you can see the timeline.
Route. Let me show you. February 26th, at 10:04, Sterns is seen on body cam showing police where he says he dropped Madeline off. But then you go later that night into the early morning hours, 3:16, Jen Soto's white Nissan is pinged on a license plate reader. The report stated it took the same path as Sterns the previous day. 3:35, the vehicle enters the dump site where Madeline's body was found. 4:09, the license plate is pinged on the way back home. And then at 4:30, the white Nissan, again, that is registered to Jennifer Soto, arrives back at the complex. Let's go back out to Cody Thomas, our report. It's getting dark there, which is appropriate right now because we're talking about not just one trip, but two trips, and the second one is in the dark.
Yeah, you see it. The sun is definitely going down here, Vinny. And we actually recreated some of that drive today. One of the main roads mentioned in those documents is this 13th Street. It's this big freeway down here that a lot of the side roads crossed over and intersected. And it's also where a lot of those intersection cameras caught those two cars coming out here that night on Hickory Tree Road. Take a look at this drive. We are here in St. Cloud, Florida right now, about 35 minutes away from those Venetian Bay villages where Stephan Sterns, Madeline Soto, and her mother lived. This is 13th Street. This is actually one of the roads mentioned in those court documents, going through a bunch of intersections with cameras, which is how police say they tracked his silver Lincoln MKZ out to this area. 13th Street, we've crossed over Old Canoe Creek Road, Neptune Road, Buttinger Road.
Yes.
Lots of these intersections, as you look at them as we go under one, we're about to go under one right now, there's cameras at all four sides. So it wasn't a hard lift for police to track him out to this area, again, 35 minutes away. But the key here is, of course, they tracked that silver Lincoln MKZ out here using these intersections. There's another car, a small Toyota registered to Jen Soto, Madeline Soto's mother, that came back out here around 3:30 a.m. We don't know who was driving. We don't know if Stephan was behind the wheel. We don't know if Jen Soto was behind the wheel or both. But it was out here going the same exact route. The only difference is Sterns' car left from the back gate of Venetian Bay. The Toyota left from the front gate. So the first few streets that the cars are tracked on are a little bit different. But as you look at those court documents, once they get out here at the intersection of Old Canoe Creek Road and 13th Street, everything lines up the same. Sterns was out here around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 1:08, 1:15-ish. before getting to Hickory Tree Road, where Madeline Soto's body was eventually found. But that small Toyota was out here around 3:30 in the morning and didn't return back to Venetian Bay or in that area until after 4 a.m. So, again, we don't know who's behind the wheel, but up for speculation once that trial begins. And Vinny, I think I did misspeak in that it was actually a Nissan, not a Toyota. But just to remind you that we are out here at this location about 40 minutes away from where they live in Venetian Bay, which definitely is out of the way, especially after 3 a.m.
Now, another part of Stephan Sterns' story, getting to that.
Now, there's a good possibility that Sterns can claim that, folks. Sterns could absolutely claim that there was a fit of rage and blame it on Jen, and then it could be a he said, she said. So let me play this for you for a second. I think my mom showed up, but I can let her in.
They asked him if he went anywhere that night, right? Like the night of the drive that the Nissan's taken.
Vinny, you're absolutely right. But Sterns claims that he never left the house that night. Take a listen to this.
Did you and your wife, when you guys were looking for, where did you guys look?
Me and her stayed local. It was all the rest of the family that mobilized and was beating the bushes. And
did you guys drive together or separate?
I don't think we drove anywhere when we were looking.
You didn't drive anywhere?
Not that I recall.
Did you guys go anywhere last night? Was that media?
Maybe. I think Fox 35 or something.
If it is, let me tell him to move it.
Okay.
I don't recall. You have to ask her if we went anywhere. I don't recall. I was so zonked out on Adderall at that point. Okay. It was a wreck.
And of course, Vinny, knowing what we know now, we know that.
And of course, we know why he was a wreck. Mama Pearl is in the house. My mom's here, so send love to my mom. I'll show her at the end of this that everybody loves my mom because she's amazing and she taught me how not to be around people like this and how to help with justice and be compassionate for those that can't. Yeah, his voice is disgusting and now we know. All right, let's finish this up, folks. I love boots on the ground and I'm glad that Court TV did that.
That absolutely was not the truth.
Right. Someone from that house is in that Nissan. It's either him or her or both. Yeah. Another part of his story, getting to his story, and he mentioned this a lot when he says he was driving Madeline to school, that they were going to go to McDonald's, that they're going to stop at this McDonald's. And he keeps harping on it. The McDonald's. That's why we're leaving early. Did you come across that McDonald's?
Thank you, Emma Clark.
Yeah, I did. I found that McDonald's today, Vinny. Of course, at that given moment in time, before knowing what we know now, it became a battle of his story versus the police's story. But I did find that McDonald's, and it actually wasn't too far away from Hunters Creek Middle School, where she was supposed to be that morning. So Stern's story to police was that morning that Madeline Soto went missing. He says they got up early to go to McDonald's. They left. Madeline had already eaten a bagel or a biscuit or something of the sort. She wasn't hungry. She didn't want McDonald's. They ended up going back to the house early before he says he eventually took her to school. Now, we now know that's not true. And this McDonald's is on Town Loop Road. It's only about 10 to 12 minutes from Venetian Bay where they lived. And actually on the drive over here, we passed Hunters Creek Middle School where Madeline Soto was supposed to be that day. And we also passed Peace United Methodist Church where Stern says he dropped her off in order to walk to school that morning. Again, we now know that's not true. We now know that Sterns was actually on a...
He actually doesn't quite know. He's kind of winging things. He's doing a great job, but he's saying a bagel or a biscuit. That's neither one of what Maddie supposedly ate. They're just trying to get the boots on the ground. He's really just talking about the McDonald's that's there. So if you can't understand it, it wasn't completely even accurate. We don't know what she ate. We never got the report back yet that she even ate. So thank you for the $1.99 super sticker. All of it helps. He sounds ridiculous, you said.
A different route headed out to Hickory Tree Road in St. Cloud where Madeline Soto's body was eventually found. And again, Vinny, that was yet another untruthful story told by Stephan Sterns, and there could be many more to come as this case continues to develop.
All right, so just a real quick question. It's really dark behind you right now. They were there, and it's just past sunset. They were there at 3 o'clock in the morning. There's no street lights or anything, right? It's just complete darkness?
Absolutely no street lights. In fact, if we turn this light off in front of me, you wouldn't be able to see a thing out here on this road.
All right, can you turn it off? Turn it off for a second, just so we can see how dark it really is. Cut the light.
1 second.
Yep, yeah.
Oh, dang.
Okay, that tells the story.
Where'd I go?
You're gone. Cody Thomas in St. Cloud for us tonight. Thanks so much, Cody. Great reporting, as always. Let's bring back in our think tank, Eklund Mercy, Kirk Nurmi, Nima Romani.
All right,
Kirk, what's going on here? What are the questions you have about this second trip?
And as we wrap this up, you guys ask your questions too. We're talking about the second trip. That was that night. We have not identified the person. If the person happens to be Jen, she's toast, folks. We know that. She'll have to be arrested because she knew. Word around the street says something's coming. We'll see.
By a second vehicle from that household. It's Jen's car. Stephan obviously could have access to it. What are the questions you have? How significant? What is the importance of this return trip that night after they've told police that there's a child missing?
My guess is it kind of supports the theory, the idea that the placement of the body wasn't what he chose, but a matter of necessity based on the flat tire. My guess is that this is supportive of the story that he went back. He started getting nervous. How easy was the body going to be able to be seen? So he drove back out there, took Jen's car so it wouldn't, correlate back to him, that maybe it looked like it was her. But the only real question then that this gives rise to, if the cameras could pick it up or not, was there one or were there two people in the car? And that would possibly be Jen Soto, right? But other than that, there's no real questions here, because I think it's really consistent, even wraps it up tighter for the prosecutors, because they say he had to dump this body out of necessity, and he went back to make sure that it wasn't going to be discovered because he knew the police were looking. He knew that the heat was on. So he wanted to double check himself at 3:30 in the morning.
Nima, I'm thinking about Jen Soto right now. It's her car, but it's her daughter that's missing. They report it. They're, with police that night. Then they come home, and then someone leaves for like an hour. Like, she would have to have some information about this and have some explanation about what's going on here.
Well, Vinny, we're all thinking about Jen Soto and why hasn't she be charged and will she be charged? And, Kirk nailed it. There's no question that it's Sterns going out. Maybe he took Jen's car because his car has a spare tire and he didn't want to drive on a spare or wanted to throw law enforcement off. But he was doing something with that body. Why else would you go to the scene of the crime at 3 or 4 a.m.? But, I agree with you. I got a lot of questions about Jen that I don't have about Sterns. I think Sterns is going to be convicted, probably put to death. But what did she know? What was her role in all this? At a minimum, seems like a failure to protect. But we may even have a co-conspirator here. We may have an accessory to murder. So there's a lot of questions I have about Jen. And let's not forget about Sterns' jail emails. He's talking about someone else who was involved in the case. Now, that could be all lies. We know he's a liar, or it could be Jen or someone else entirely.
So, Eklund, we don't know the status of...
I feel like they don't know the story all the way, which is interesting that they're reporting on it, because he didn't talk at all. He actually deflected and onto something else and started asking about his books or whatever. So it's interesting that a lot of information that we get from here is like, we know, if you're watching my channel, you actually know what the details are. I don't know why she hasn't been arrested. I don't know why they haven't confirmed the second driver. I don't even know why it took so long for them to say that there was a second driver. So when you think of it that way, folks, think of it as, 4 phones. They're also, think of that. There are 4 phones they took. They can't just take a phone, and let's say it's 2 of them are registered under Jen's name. They have to get subpoenas for that. Now, Stephan Sterns, no question. He's already behind bars. They can take anything they want, and they did. They looked at his stuff. They looked at his phone. They looked at all his things. But with Jen, they have to tread lightly, because if she didn't have anything to do with it and they just start violating her rights as she's lawyered up, there's a problem. So they gotta tread lightly in this. But think about it that way. Think about it that way, that I know that they found out the story coming in court too. I would love to, man. Okay, so think about it that way. They say not yet, but here's the thing: is why did it take so long for them to know there was a second car that night? Why? This just came out last week, everybody. Did they not have the information, or did they not know? Peel a little bit. Boss, yes, she's the boss. All right, so just sit in your minds. We're on a Friday afternoon here, and think about why it took so long just for that little stupid piece of information that may not be so stupid.
Jen Soto right now. We don't know if she has cooperated and is like on the team of the prosecution and helping them fill in the blanks of things that they may or may not know about what was going on behind closed doors. We don't know if she's still the subject of an investigation. We do know she hasn't been named as a suspect. She hasn't been arrested. She hasn't been charged with anything. But it seems to me she has a lot of information that could complete this story one way or the other. If you're representing her, What do you do?
Okay, listen to this real quick. Hold on. Before I even get into this, Vinny says if you're representing Jen Soto, and this is why I even wanted to play this today, besides the boots on the ground, she does not answer this question. Listen how she answers the question. She answers it, but first she laughs. If Deception Detective was here, he would give us the lowdown. If I was to pull out my cards, she does not answer this question.
The issue is that
she's not even answering it.
I think she's involved. Okay, because we've seen cases like this in juvenile cases, in deprivation cases, where they're trying to deprive, parental rights being taken away. For 5 years, she allowed this to happen or had some sense of it. And I think it wouldn't be out of the ordinary based on what's happening. I think they probably try to sell her. I think they probably tried to sell Madeline.
She's sane?
And something went wrong and they had to come back. Because I just see that the actions are just so erratic. And based on all of the evidence, if I was the prosecutor, I would check the financial records prior to the 13th birthday. I would check to see any upticks on, any money or anything like that. I would definitely check Jen Soto's accounts because it just seems out of the ordinary. Then I would check to see, the rape kit will tell us what's up. We're about to find out a lot during trial, but I would also want to check to see the stomach contents if it matches with, the bagel that he stated that they apparently sell at McDonald's now. So there's a lot of things. And I think that this would be my come to Jesus meeting with Madeline. Like, the only thing that can save you now is the truth. But she hasn't been prosecuted, so it's her.
Hasn't been named as a suspect again. Like at this point, we know nothing, and she's free, presumed innocent, and not charged, and not named as a suspect. Let me ask you, Kirk. The other part of the story, a lot of people wonder about: is it possible, saving all these images? Is it part of something deeper and darker and connected to others? If, and again, this is a big if Stephan Sterns has information like that, and it connects to some sort of a ring, a child pornography ring or child abuse.
Stop saying those words, folks. Anyway, we understand what they're talking about, but it's interesting. And you heard how she answered that question. She didn't answer how she would defend Jen Soto at all. He said, how would you defend Jen Soto as being a defense attorney? And she laughed. And then she says, she thinks she's involved and that they went back to go see the crime. And then they start talking about selling pictures of Maddie, etc. I've never even come to that conclusion, only because in the very beginning, they ruled out that there were other people involved. Although you guys are all correct. They can't find images and transactions from the encrypted sites that Stephan Sterns was using that I know of right now. So in the very beginning, yeah, Jackie, I wouldn't defend these two at all, but they can't, they won't be able to trace those. And so I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be part of the case at all, but it was super interesting how she answered that. She didn't answer how she would do that. And, wow, Toddy One Skips in the house. I have subscribed. Say that perhaps he sold pictures. My thing is are they going to be able to prove that? Everybody says that, and I probably believe everybody's right, but how are they going to prove that with the encrypted apps? We're going to find out. And Toddy One, what's up? Toddy One and I are going to do a collab here on the Christopher Greger case and his sentencing on August 2nd, folks. So watch out for that. Two heavy hitters that should have more subscribers than we do. And we will. All right.
Or something like that. Is that a card you think that he could play? Is that something that might interest a prosecutor if it involves more children?
Maybe, but that really depends on if there is a paper trail to support him and or his testimony is needed to do that, right? When we talk about posting these images,
why do they keep
were they
showing
posted
that?
anywhere? Were they shared anywhere? Or did they go on the dark web as Eklund mentioned? So there's all those kind of things. And obviously this man is a notorious liar, so his word alone isn't going to be enough. He's going to have some need to have some substantiation for that.
I don't know why they keep
one thing
showing
that's
that.
interesting about the email.
Stop showing that.
So it does seem, Vinny, if such is the case, if that horrific step of distribution took place, that he might be in a mindset where he wants to distribute because he's a victim, or he wants to get those to whom he distributed to. And so he's going to cast himself as a victim and throw them under the bus as well.
Great job, Eklund, Mercy, Kirk, Nermi, Nima, Romani. Thank you so much. I know your time is valuable.
All right. And all of our time is valuable, and you guys are amazing. You guys rocked it tonight. It's not even tonight for some of us yet. Maggie Torres de los Medel. I don't know how to say that. $4.99 super sticker with the black cat. I appreciate you. Nina Drew, Candy, Clar, Sin, and everybody else that donated. Hit that like button. This probably won't get monetized, but we can have this out there so people know the DNA analysis, and you can see the boots on the ground that happened there. You now get to see, and we've showed you, if you go back, I have 70 or 80 videos on the case. We've definitely done, yeah, they do keep reminding us of that, but those words, us mothers, I don't know what other mothers, I just don't like those words ingrained in my head is the problem. Let's get him to trial. Those words bother me when I have to see him over and over and over. Thank you, Jay. Angels Among Us, you're one of them. Well, thank you for saying that. I appreciate you. I don't need to report by having a shock factor. The shock factor is in the proof of what's happened. You can't make these things up. So I might be back this weekend. It's not my birthday until next Thursday. I love you too, Sweetie Brookahire. It's Saturday morning in Australia. It's Saturday, Friday. It's the weekend. But I love each and every one of you. Thank you for being here. Hit the like button on your way out. Share this for people that want to know what happened and don't want that shock factor. And yeah, I don't want. Thank you, Cynthia. I don't want that. Thank you, Melly. I love you back. You're awesome, amazing, and all of the above. And we all appreciate you for being in all the chats, doing everything you do. Toddy won. You be well too. I'll catch your episode. I always catch your episodes. I love that you have the condensed episodes that makes it easy to watch. Say hi to Mama for us. And yes, my mom is here, so I should go hang out with her. I want to go hang out with her, and I miss her. Hit the like button. Don't get in trouble. For all you people that carry, use wisely. Have a good weekend, everybody. I love you all.
Guilty of crime.
I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my content, please share this video, like, and subscribe. You can also follow me over at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, or Gmail. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can use Cash App or Venmo or PayPal. Thank you very much in advance. Guilty of crime.
Are you guilty of crime?